How can I put it? Okay, I'm coming from a certain generation. My parents are coming from another generation. My grandparents are coming from another generation. In terms of like microchipping, it's like we already have the chip. We already have it. We have a version of it already. And we always have. It's just been an evolution of us and an evolution of what that chip is. I feel like credit cards were a form of chip. I feel like cash was a form of chip, you know? Evolution from cash to credit cards to then contactless is a form of chip. I feel it's all a process of preparation. Another thing we said was, we were talking about the London buses and not being able to go on the bus anymore with cash. You have to have an Oyster, you have to have a card. Call that card a chip, right? I feel that's a stage in the evolution and preparation for what's to come. This whole cashless society that we hear about so often, I feel the chip is already here. It's just preparing for the actual not having to have a physical thing carrying around. I believe in a time where you won't even actually have to carry around a credit card, and you won't have to have this contactless card you tap anymore. Before you used to have to put in, I mean you still do in places, put your card in the machine and type in them some digits. And now you can actually just tap the card and all the information's there and you make your transaction, etc., etc. I feel there will come a time where you won't even have to do that with any physical thing apart from your own hand or your eye or your finger or whatever. I feel it will be a part of your body. That will be the next stage in the evolution, where it will be something that's implanted in you, where you don't have to carry a phone, you don't have to carry credit cards, you don't have to carry, you know, anything that has the credit on it or has the ability to do the thing on it. You'll be able to do it with your own body because you'll have that thing, that technology or that intelligence inside of your body. I do believe a time like that will come. I mean, we're seeing it now with animals are being chipped, you know, and they're talking about in other countries, people are being chipped already. It's not like a thing that's to come. There are people who are living and existing with chips inside them already, working in this way. It's not like something that's to come. I'd say it's only to come in terms of a wider usage of it, a bigger population of it living this way with microchips and stuff like that. I think there will come that time. I mean, like people now, no one wants to carry stuff. No one wants to have to wait on stuff, carry stuff, you know, they want things now. It's not going to be long before no one wants to even, like, carrying a phone would be like, what are you carrying that for? You know, like, why are you carrying a cell phone? Why would you want to carry that, man? Like, you could be like us and just like, you got to charge that up, you got to like, you know, you got to type in the number, that's just long, man. Like, when are you going to get your chip, man? Get your chip. You don't have to do any of that. That's just long, man. Why you got a cell phone? Who carries a smartphone nowadays? That's what it's going to be like. That'll be the conversation. Why you got that credit card, man? That's long, man. What you couldn't have a credit cards for? Who does that anymore? Like, wow. Like, look, get your chip, man. Why are you taking so long to get your chip? That's why I feel the conversation is going to be in the future. I feel it's already in process. So when I talk about the microchip already being here from like ages ago, long before the conversations even became popular, it's just an evolution. It's a preparation, because I don't think anyone's willingly going to have a chip put in their hand. So there has to be a preparation. It's all gearing towards an acceptance. So whereas I spoke about the gran and the mum and then the child who have grown up without it, you will have the generations in the future, their children, the children of the children, or the grandchildren of the children, who will be more open to it because they've grown up in a world where they don't have to have a credit card or they don't have to type in a PIN. They can tap. Everything, swipe it, they can tap it, they can swipe it, you know what I mean? They can voice activate it. So they're being born into that world, so it's more acceptable to them. They're in a world where they can have contraception implanted into their bodies, and that does everything fine. Like, they don't have to swallow a pill. And there's always going to be issues because it's not really normal, is it? It's not really human-like, if you like, to have something inserted into your body that's artificial, that's not supposed to be there, that you weren't born with. There's problems with everything that you implant into your body. I mean, there's always going to be issues of some kind until, you know, I mean, it works properly. You know, there's always going to be teething issues with things that are not supposed to be there. You know what I mean? Like, that's a chip. There you go. A contraceptive chip. That's what people are walking around with. A lot of people are already walking around with it. But think about it. It's an implant. It's amazing to think about. People are already accepting implants. So it's not that far-fetched. It may be for us who are older generation, who have seen the change, but people that are being born into it, it's like nothing. Like, that's a minor. Like, you know, you got breast implants, you're getting your lips done, you're getting your bum done. These are all relatively new things if you look at history. So by the time those future generations get here, It'll be normal for them to have a chip. It'd be like, where's your chip? Why haven't you got a chip? The people who don't have the chip will be the ones who looked on like you're some alien. Get with the times, man. Why haven't you got a chip? Like, they'll be like, who doesn't have a chip these days? You just like, you're in the Stone Ages. That's how they'll be talking about you. They'll be talking about you like you're in the Stone Ages because you got an iPhone. That's how the future's gonna be. Do you know people are they're gonna look at you with a contact list like you're some old person, like you're stuck in the past. Because you're tapping your card to pay for the item or make the purchase. They're going to be like, who does that anymore? I seriously think we're going to be downloading everything into our bodies as opposed to onto a device. I really do believe that in the future that will be just normal.